How did your high school crush turn out as an adult? I had two unrealized crushes in high school. One is a teacher and musician. She is married and has either one or two kids. We've kept in loose contact via social media and ran into each other at a night party shortly before she got married. I was introduced to her now husband as favorite ex ever. He seemed like a decent dude and I'm happy for her. I believe the other became a US attorney. I have not heard from her since Google almost because a social media thing. I imagine she's still very productive and would be disappointed in my life choices. Going to an all-boys school sucks for having realistic crushes. However, ran into one of the teachers years later and she still looked bellissima. I went to an all-girls school. Crushes were desperate and far between. That's not what the educational films on the internet tell me. My English teacher still looks fine as Phoebe. Mine was ancient back in 1985. If she's still around now, she must be a vampire. God bless you, Mrs. Cunningham. You put up with me. Tried your best and I still turned out Speeb. Mine was only about 4 years older than me and dropped out halfway during university. I met her in 1987. We got married 5 years ago. We used to go to the same punk shows. That's where met. You fell in love with the girl at the rock show. Ended up committing suicide a few years after high school. She was a teacher and got caught having an affair with a female student. Undefined. Well, this is dark. One of them is homeless and a druggie. It's very sad. The other one is famous in his home country. Is a best-selling author. And is regularly on TV. Don't have a crush on him anymore. But I'm glad we are still friends. And I'm happy for how well he's done. I guess they balance one another out. My friend's high school crush was Tom Holland. Like they went to the same school. Wow, I can't believe you're friends with Mary Jane. Or Liz Allen. I had several. One of them is still a close friend. And he became a primary care doctor. He also officiated my wedding. I have no idea what happened to another one. We didn't really have overlapping friend groups and she doesn't do social media. One of them is a math professor now. So that's pretty cool. My biggest crush in high school was my longtime neighbor. But it also fizzled out pretty quickly after we went to homecoming together. We're still good friends. And our families still keep in touch. He's also the guy who introduced me to my husband. She has a dog and I don't. She passed away our senior year. 6 months after she agreed to marry me after we graduated. I would be hell of peeped after that. I'm glad you're doing well, brother. Without going into too much detail. I had some serious survivor's guilt and tried to commit suicide about 6 months after she died. Glad I've peeped up killing myself. Well, I'm glad it's going well for you now at the least. There was a girl I really admired for a while. She didn't really give me the time of day after freshman year though. She was co-valedictorian and hugged me as I crossed the stage at graduation. And no one else got one. I'm still really confused about that 6 years later. She went on to med school and is either married or at least engaged to a guy she met there. Overall, she's doing really well. And I'm happy for her. Undefined. Sounds like she is a nice person and probably knew you liked her but didn't want to give you the wrong idea. She probably hugged you because she hoped the best for you. You were her one fan. That's the option that makes it easiest to stomach for me. I think. Really the only thing that makes sense based on what you said. Run with it. Be happy that she felt you special enough to give you that hug over anyone else, and think she must have seen something in you that your current/future partners will appreciate. Go out in the world and rock it. You made me check, and she is actually a very successful artist and an art teacher at a renowned university in France. She even got decorated for her work Chevalier des Arts et de Lettres. Edit. Thanks for the attention. I'm not really willing to give much more details. I'm just going to add that she's French and she's not teaching in Paris. Dang, this award in France is kind of a big deal when you're an artist. Probably even a big deal if you aren't. Non-artists get it all the time. It's just a lot harder for artists to get it. Use mine as a paperweight. I never made a move in high school. About 7 years after graduating, I saw her on social media and said what the hell and asked her out. We've been dating for about 2 years and I'm about to pop the big question. Wishing you both the best. Back when I was younger and crushing hard, I got on AOL Instant Messenger and had gotten my crush's screen name from a friend. I worked up the nerve to start a conversation with him, and soon after some awkward small talk he sent me a message in Comic Sans. Black background, red lettering, and in French. I then went to Google for translation and found out he had just called me a pig. In French. Being a seemingly awkward and chubby teenager, I was literally crushed. The heartbreak was only made worse by remembering that a few weeks prior I had selected to take French class the next year and couldn't change it. Years later, now that I've blossomed, he follows me on every social media platform. Has reached out a couple of times to try and flirt/hang out. Hard pass. I believe he's moved away and is a teacher now. The now you want me because I'm hot attempt. I had a lady try that post-college. Maybe had she not been so mean about turning me down when I asked her out before, I would have considered it. Overdosed and died last year. I got to see him before he was taken off life support with a really good mutual friend we shared organ donor too. It was surreal seeing him dwarfed by all these machines. He had one of the largest hearts I've ever come across. Edit. Graduated back in the early 2000s and last year, 2019. WTF, is time even anymore? Legit question. Can they donate their organs if they overdose? Yes. And with the number of overdoses early on in an addiction, there are a lot of young people with healthy organs but are newly infected with Hep C. They are now doing transplants with these organs, then recipients are going through a course of Harvoni/etc. post-transplant to cure the Hep C. So there are high-quality organs being used that would previously be tossed. Still a 10 for looks. I'm sure she kept on as the amazing, kind person she is. She moved to another country, speaks multiple languages and is more successful than I imagined. She seems happy, but we haven't talked since the time I told her how I felt about her about 20 years ago. LOL, that last sentence. Ouch. At least he went for it though. I had 3. 1 from the first 2 years and 2 from the last 2. The first one is now F2M trans, who walked to Colorado to join a cult/commune. He is now in Arizona recording rap albums. The second girl moved to Florida and lives in a swamp. She periodically hits me up to tell me she misses me. How dumb I was that I didn't follow through. That we should get married. The third was a missionary. She wasn't really into it once she grew up. Came back home and I introduced her to one of my closest friends. They've been married for 15 years. 0/3. Why no marry Shrek? He got Ogre the crush. She ended up dating and marrying the guy who bullied me all through middle school and high school. They seem like a functional family from what I see on social media. You were 2 murders away from being Snape. I've got an address if you wanna save the wizarding world. Won't help if you didn't get the secret from the secret keeper. My high school ex randomly sent me a text years after we split up that went, "I know you don't like metal, but I thought you'd like this," and a link to a clarinet cover of a metal song I played in HS. Little did he know that I hated playing clarinet and I was now a total metalhead. Why does this sound like a rom-com slice of life story? It feels like a great start, but then the plot/interest just falls apart. Unless the rest of the movie is about him catching her clumsy ass falling down. We reconnected through Facebook, though I can't stand FB anymore when in our late 40s, and now she is my wife. She's still beautiful. Just checking in to confirm that I was no one's high school crush. Carry on. I don't think I ever was either. Undefined.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.